When you lose yourself at trying to please everyone, this one's about how slowly, quietly, we abandon ourselves and how to come back. Chapter 1. The Slow Fade. You lose yourself the moment you start living for their applause instead of your own peace. Unknown. It doesn't happen all at once. You don't wake up and say, "Today I'll forget who I am." Number. It's quieter than that, more subtle, more polite. It starts when you say yes when you mean no, when you smile through the sting, when you laugh at the joke that cuts too deep. You adjust. You become easier to be around, more agreeable, more palatable, less you. You don't even notice it at first. It looks like being a good friend, a hard worker, a team player. But piece by piece, you trade your truth for their comfort, your fire for their approval. And then one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. You've said yes to so many things that weren't yours. You forgot what your own yes even feels like. Your body's still moving, your smile still fixed, but your soul is gone, burnt out. Number tired in a way sleep can't fix. And the scariest part? Nobody notices. Because to them, you're still showing up, still smiling, still fine. But inside, you're screaming in a language no one hears. This is what losing yourself looks like. Chapter 2. The Breaking Point. People think you're strong when you're silent, but sometimes silence is just what's left when you've run out of ways to ask for help. Bo Taplin. There's a moment when the weight becomes too much. Maybe it's in traffic, hands gripping the wheel too tightly. Maybe it's in the middle of a conversation where someone talks over you again. Or in the grocery store aisle, when you realize you don't even know what you like to eat anymore, because you've always shopped for someone else. For me, it wasn't some grand event. No fireworks, no screaming. It was a coffee order. I stood there holding a drink I didn't even want, realizing I didn't remember the last time I chose something for me. And suddenly I felt it. Not anger, not sadness, but this deep, aching hollowness. Like I had been a guest in my own life. Like I'd built an entire personality around being needed, but never seen. You keep thinking if you can just hold it together a little longer, if you can just make everyone happy, maybe someone will notice you're drowning. But here's the truth. They won't, because the world loves the version of you that asks for nothing. They'll applaud your strength, your resilience, your selflessness, until there's nothing left of you to give. And when you finally fall apart, they'll ask what happened, why you didn't say anything. But you did. Every silence was a scream. Every "I'm fine" was a desperate plea. You just got really good at pretending. Or Chapter 3. The Return. At some point, you have to stop asking who you need to become for them and start remembering who you were before the world told you to change. Brianna Wiest. Coming back to yourself isn't loud either. It doesn't start with a grand decision or some perfect plan. It starts with something small. For me, it was turning my phone off for 1 hour. Just silence. No buzzing, no messages, no expectations. And in that quiet, I met someone I hadn't heard from in years. Me. It was awkward at first, like meeting a stranger you used to know. But then, I started asking questions I hadn't asked in a long time. What do I want? What makes me feel alive? What have I been avoiding? And slowly I began to unlearn the version of me that existed only to be liked. It wasn't easy, because people will resist your healing when your wounds were what made them comfortable. When you stop saying yes to everything, they'll call you selfish. When you start setting boundaries, they'll say you've changed. But you haven't changed. You're just remembering. You're remembering how to take up space, how to speak your truth without shrinking, how to let your no be as sacred as your yes. You learn that peace doesn't come from being everything to everyone. It comes from being everything to yourself. And little by little, the fire comes back. Not a blazing inferno at first, just a spark, a flicker, a whisper that says, "I'm still here." That's where healing begins. Not in becoming someone new, but in coming home to who you've always been. Chapter 4. The Reclamation. Your life isn't yours if you constantly care what others think. This is the part where you reclaim what was always yours, not by burning bridges, not by yelling into the void, but by quietly choosing yourself every single day. And it starts with permission. Give yourself permission to disappoint others, not because you want to hurt them, but because you refuse to keep hurting you. Give yourself permission to rest, not because you're lazy, but because you've carried too much for too long. Give yourself permission to dream again, to say no, to be misunderstood, to grow beyond the role they cast you in. You don't owe anyone the version of you that made them comfortable. You owe yourself truth, wholeness, peace. So here's your strategy, simple but powerful. 1. Reclaim your mornings. Start your day with you. No phone, no noise. Just 5 minutes. Breathe, journal, be. 2. Audit your yes. Before agreeing to anything, pause and ask, am I doing this from love or from fear? 3. Create sacred space. One corner of your life, your room, your playlist, your time, should be yours, unapologetically. 4. Speak your truth, gently. Your voice matters, even if it shakes, especially if it shakes. 5. Protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Stop spending your soul on things that don't return it. This isn't about becoming selfish, it's about becoming whole. You can still love people deeply, without abandoning yourself in the process. You can still be kind, without being a doormat. You can still serve, without shrinking. The world needs the real you, not the filtered, edited, exhausted version. The one who says what they mean, who rests without guilt, who shines not to be seen, but because it's who they are. Tonight, take 5 minutes. Ask yourself, where did I lose me? And then tomorrow, start walking back. One truth, one boundary, one brave choice at a time. You don't need permission, you just need to remember, you were never too much. You were just too real for a world that taught you to be small. But now, you rise.